Hello everybody and welcome to the first video of Cam's Gory Facts. And today I'm going to be telling you some facts about the Romans. Some of the games the Romans used to get up to when they were bored. The first game the Romans would play is a game called Trigon. Next time your parents slaughter a pig for dinner, ask them for the bladder. It's the part that you won't be eating anyway. The bladder is cleaned out, then blown up like a balloon and tied. A triangle with sides about 2 meters long is drawn on the ground and a player stands at each corner of the triangle. The bladder ball is passed from one player to another without it touching the ground. The aim of the game is to keep the bladder ball in the air as long as possible. Easy? Then add 2 more balls so that each player has 1. There is no set order for passing the ball. You may have to pass your ball while receiving 2 from other players. A game hint: it helps to have 3 hands. If you drop a ball, you lose a point. The winner is the one with the fewest drops in that time period. Say 5 minutes. If you can't find a dead pig, then use tennis balls. Of course, they never had tennis balls in those times, but use any other bladder, and that will do. The next game is Knucklebones. If your parents happen to sacrifice a sheep to the gods, ask if you can have one of its feet. Boil the sheep's foot until the flesh and skin fall away from the bones. Take the small cubic bones and dry them. You now have 5 chuck stones. Hold the bones in one hand, throw them into the air. The aim is to see who can catch the most on the back of the hand. Note: if your parents aren't sacrificing any sheep this week, you can use stones, dice or cubes of wood. The next game is Misara or Misar. Play in pairs. Each player places their right hand behind their back. Agree on a signal. One player will nod, for example. On the signal, both players shoot out the right hand with a number of fingers raised. At the same moment, each player calls out for what they guess the total number of fingers will be. If neither guessed correctly, then try again. The winner is the first one to guess correctly. Note: this sounds easy. In fact, the more you play it, the more you learn to use clever tactics. Try it and see. The next game is the jar game. Someone is selected to be it. It sits on the ground. They are said to be in the jar. The others try to prod or nip the one on the ground. Rotten Roman children could be pretty vicious while playing this game. Warning: only pinch or punch it if it happens to be a teacher. The person in the jar cannot get up, but they can try to grab hold of one of the touchers. The toucher who is grabbed goes into the jar. The next game is Blind Man's Buff. Someone is chosen to be blindfolded. The other players each have a stick and dance around tapping the blind man. With the stick, shouting, "Come and catch me," with the blindfolded person tries to do. If a player is caught, then the blindfolded person tries to guess whose he is holding. If the blindfolded person is right, then the caught player becomes the blindfolded one. Nuts. Each player next game is nuts. Each player has a supply of nuts, probably hazelnuts. Each player adds a nut to his or her pile to build a pyramid. The winner is the player who uses the most nuts before the pyramid collapses. Note: this is a game for children. When you grew up, the Romans would say you had left your nuts. Perhaps you would like to ask your teacher, where did you leave your nuts? The next game is word games. If you like word games or crosswords, then you might like to make a square of words. They should read the same whether they are read from left to right or from top to bottom. Here's an example from reading in Roman Britain. Now in Berkshire, it was found scratched on a tile. Sator aripo tenet opera rotas. Sator means a sower. Aripo is a man's name. Tenet means he holds. Opera means work or deeds. Rotas means wheels. The square has also been translated as the sower. Aripo guides the wheels carefully. But some clever person worked out that this was not a word game at all, but a secret Christian prayer. That all the letters and you can spell out the word Paternoster. This is Latin for Our Father. The opening of the Lord's Prayer, there are 2 A's and 2 O's left over. These letters represent the beginning and the end to early Christians. Clever, yes, but is it just coincidence? Or is it really a prayer? Make up your own mind and decide for yourself. Thank you for listening and watching this video, and that was the first episode of Cam's Gory Facts and to do with the Romans. Thanks for listening. See you in the next one. Bye.